Reps propose 15% women quota in police recruitment. So the House of Representatives on Monday commenced a public hearing on a proposed amendment to the Nigeria Police Act 2 of 2020, seeking to make 15% women's representation in police recruitment a compulsory benchmark for the Nigeria Police Force. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, who declared the session open on Monday, said the amendment was a critical step towards building a more inclusive and accountable policing system that reflects the nation's diversity. All right, still taking stories from The Guardian. Extend moratorium to state varsities. ASU tells FG amid fresh strike threat. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has called on the federal government to extend a 7-year moratorium on the issuance of licenses for the establishment of new universities to the state government to prevent the total collapse of state-owned higher institutions. ASU made the demand as university lecturers warned that a fresh confrontation with the federal government might be unavoidable, citing unfulfilled agreements and what they described as the continued lack of genuine commitment during negotiations. That's also from the Guardian newspaper. Social media feud spills into aircraft as VDM Mr. Jollof exchange blows. So there was confusion aboard an Abuja-bound aircraft yesterday when social media activist Martins Ose, popularly known as Very Darkman, VDM, and comedian Freedom Asekpoi, widely called Mr. Jollof, engaged in a physical fight, leaving passengers in shock. The altercation, captured in a video now circulating online, began as a heated exchange before escalating into a full-blown scuffle. The incident occurred on board the Asaba flight of United Nigeria Airlines. Customs intercept lion cub, monkeys at Seme border, arrest 2 suspects. So the Nigeria Customs Service Seme Area Command has intercepted 1 lion cub and 2 Paters monkeys being transported in a vehicle to the Benin Republic during a stop and search operation along the Badagry Seme Expressway. So the public relations officer of the command, Issa Suleiman, said the consignments of endangered wildlife were discovered on Sunday, November 16, at about 2:19 p.m. after operatives stopped at a blue Mazda bus with registration number MUS 743HA at Gbaji. So you can read the rest of that story. It's from The Guardian. We'll take another one, but this time we're heading to sports section. Nigeria's coach blames voodoo after World Cup hopes crushed. So Nigeria's football coach has accused the Democratic Republic of Congo of practicing voodoo after his squad's hopes of qualifying for the 2026 World Cup ended in a penalty shootout loss. DR Congo and Nigeria drew 1-1 after extra time in the African playoffs final in Rabat on Sunday, and the Central Africans won 4-3 on penalties to book a place in Inter-Confederation playoffs in Mexico next March. So that's our last story from The Guardian. Let's find out from the pages of The Punch. Stories making the rounds. Mass abductions return. 145 missing in 4 days. From The Punch, Nigeria is witnessing a resurgence of mass abductions as at least 145 people have been kidnapped in Kebbi, Niger and Zamfara states in the past 4 days. The resurgence of mass kidnappings raises familiar political and security alarms as the country gears up for the 2027 polls. In the run-up of the 2023 general elections, abductions were rampant. That's from The Punch. Let's move on to another story. Federal government receives Benin bronzes repatriated from U.S. Now, the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy on Monday received 2 Benin bronzes, a bronze relief plaque and a commemorative head from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, marking a significant milestone in Nigeria's ongoing efforts to reclaim its cultural heritage. The artifacts looted during the 1897 British invasion of the Benin Kingdom were repatriated from the Museum of Fine Art, Boston, United States. You can read that story from the Punch. Over to the Nation. LSACA announces statewide free HIV testing services. That's LSACA, the Lagos State AIDS Control Agency, has begun statewide free HIV testing in local government and local council development areas from today to December 1. And this is a major component of activities for 2025 World AIDS Day and reinforces the agency's commitment to expanding access to HIV testing, promoting early diagnosis, and strengthening linkage to care. All right, so let's move over to the explainer. Federal government expands healthcare access, disburses 32 billion naira nationwide. So the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Ali Pate, disclosed recently in Abuja that the federal government disbursed 32.9 billion naira, the third round this year, to all state and primary healthcare centers across the country. Making this disclosure at the third quarter Ministerial Oversight Committee MOC meeting, Professor Pate, who said the disbursement was done through the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, BHCPF, explained that the approved funds were guided by the newly launched BHCPF 2.0 guidelines. So this is where I'm going to, wrap things up on newspaper headlines. Of course, the conversation continues. You can always connect with us. We are live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961, and on Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. So we're having Temidayo bring us the rest of the conversation. I'll be back at 10 for the news. Stay here.